The following is a presentation of the Eagles Sports Network.
We wrap up the Carson-Newman women's basketball position previews with a look at the front court here with Lindsey Taylor and Michael Watchering for the Eagles Sports Network. And Lindsey, for you, you finally get an opportunity to be settled into a school here at Carson-Newman. You've been a first-team all-conference selection, SAC tournament MVP last year. What's left for you to accomplish now?
This year the big goal is to kind of get where we want to end up at Nationals, be in Sweet 16, Elite 8, get back to that platform. And we're really excited we've got the players to do it. So.
Last year, you expanded your game a little bit with a little bit more of a mid-range jump shot. You improved from the free throw line as well. What have you worked on in the offseason?
I think a big thing for me is being able to continue to knock those shots down at that 15-foot range, because that makes me more versatile and it helps the guards get open, because everybody's so used to guarding me in the post, and being able to shoot outside can help me out a lot and help the guards out.
One of the biggest stats that I've looked at for this team is Carson-Newman last year 25-1 when you scored in double figures. So pretty much if you made 5 buckets, this team was going to win. How much do you put on your shoulders to ensure that you have a good game? That way you know that the team can have a good game.
I don't put too much, because we have such great players on our team. You can kind of go to anybody and everybody's going to be able to get something done. You have Braylon. Emily Gonzalez had a great game against Tennessee. Everybody pretty much contributes, and it kind of relieves that pressure off of me. So.
When you talk about relieving some of the pressure, well, certainly something that a leader has to do is do that. Now you're stepping into that role with the graduation of the players from last year. How have you tried to enhance your ability leading this group?
It's not just only being like a vocal leader, but leading by example. I think that's a big thing in practice. I kind of try to help the post out. That's kind of my goal right there, is help Ruthie and help Callie, and it's been good with them so far.
When you look at the players lost out of this group, Sydney Pierce comes to mind, a great shot blocker, a great role player last year that really elevated her game. What'd you learn from her, mostly from her defensive prowess, that you can take into this year?
She's a great defender. She wasn't big on fouling, so I kind of am trying to take that into consideration this year, because that's something I struggled with, so I kind of look up to her on that. And then just the attitude she brings to the court, she's always positive and willing to help anybody.
One player that you can fit into really both the front court and the back court was Addison Bird, with everything that she was able to do. She'd been through it all, was really the senior statesman on this group. How big of a loss is it to see her graduate from last year?
It's a pretty big loss. We were actually talking about it today in the weight room. I saw her, and I was like, I miss being able to get the passes from you and passing it out to you. But we've got a lot of people stepping up. We'll have Harley back. We'll have Campbell's doing great at the 4. Keely, a freshman, she stepped up really big, and we're excited for that.
You mentioned Ruthie Mbugwa earlier, 6'4", really skilled overall from her perspective. How has she grown from last year when she first stepped onto campus to now getting some playing time?
One big thing for her is she's gotten a lot more aggressive. She came here pretty quiet and shy, but now she's kind of stepped out and she's been a lot more aggressive, and that's what she needs to do. And I think that gives me a good challenge in practice.
When you talk about some of the younger players, too, you mentioned Keely Rogers, Callie McMahon. What have you seen from those two young players as they try to transition into the college game?
Just the energy and effort that they bring, and their attitudes are always great. Keely's always down there rebounding and kind of replaces Bird, because that was Bird's job last year. And so having Keely come in and all the freshmen step up, it's been really good.
When you look at this year's group, it's a top 10 projection according to the WBCA coaches poll. It's a preseason favorite in the South Atlantic Conference as well. For you to achieve those goals, what are things that need to happen for your group?
I don't think we need to pay too much attention to that ranking. It's a good thing. We're excited about it, but at the same time, it's preseason. We haven't played like a real game against any SAC opponents, so we kind of just need to focus on winning those games and not worry about that ranking, because if we worry too much, I don't want our heads to get too big. So, yeah.
When you look back at the last couple of years, really a game or two. Now, granted, you've won a regular season championship and a conference tournament championship, but you could look at a game or two each year that could have turned that into a regular season and tournament championship in both seasons, or a potential at a higher seed in the NCAA tournament. What's the key for your group to ensuring that you don't have some of those letdown games throughout the year?
I think the big thing is staying together and keeping that chemistry good, because we don't want to I feel like last year we kind of separated and that kind of caused some issues, but I feel like this year we're really close, and I think everybody's built chemistry. The freshmen fit in well, so yeah.
Lindsey, really appreciate the time. Best of luck this year.
Thank you.
That's Lindsey Taylor. I'm Michael Watchering for the Eagles Sports Network.